Thank you to everybody that joined me today. I would like to begin right away in child's pose. So bring your knees to the width of your mat, to a place that's comfortable at the width of around the width of your mat somewhere. Slide the hips back over the heels. Forehead comes down onto the mat. So making this kind of an active child's pose. So really reaching the hands forward. Forearms are up off the mat. Elbows are up off the mat. Pressing into the palms. Lengthening through the low back, the sides of the waist. And breathing into the back body. If you like, you can bring your hands to prayer. Bend your elbows, bring your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Take a few breaths here. Just marking the beginning of practice, the beginning of the day. Maybe you can begin to set your intention for this day. Just 3 more breaths here. See if you can come to full breath awareness, really filling the back body, the belly with air. And exhaling to sink a little deeper into the pose. Draw into the midline of your body. And reaching forward with your hands, if you've moved them, let's inhale to a tabletop position. Draw your knees in under your hips. Pull your low belly in. And on your next inhale, a cow belly breath, tipping the tailbone up, opening the heart. Exhale, turn the tailbone down, broaden the shoulders, tuck the chin. Inhaling, stretching the front of the body. And exhale to curl down. Inhale to a neutral position. And as you exhale, curl your toes under and let's lift the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. We can take a few breaths here, moving around, finding your blissful dog where you move around in any way that feels good. Shake your head out. And then come to stillness. Let your heels drop back towards the back of the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. Getting a nice opening through the backs of the legs, up through the hips, lengthening through the spine. Now keeping your chin tucked, your eyes on your big toes. Next inhale, let's float forward to a high plank pose. So keep your eyes on your big toes until your shoulders are over the wrists. And then bring the crown of the head forward, gaze straight down at the mat. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's try it again. Inhale to float forward to plank pose, shoulders over the wrists, then the crown of the head comes forward. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to your plank pose. As you exhale, lower to the mat. Push your elbows back towards the back of the mat and maintain your plank all the way down. Elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling now. Let's open the heart towards for cobra pose. Roll the shoulders back, press the tops of your feet into the mat. The chin is tucked into the throat. Exhale to release. Inhale to plank or table. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come forward to plank pose. As you exhale this time, come halfway or all the way down. So if you come halfway down, your elbows are somewhere around your ribs, squeezing in towards your ribs. Flip over onto the tops of your feet and take cobra or up dog here, pushing the heart forward, lifting up through the rib cage. Exhale, pull the low ribs in and flip over your toes, coming back, downward facing dog. Inhale, float forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open the heart, cobra or up dog. Exhale, strength of the core lifts the hips. Up and back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, let's bring our feet forward to the front of the mat now, coming into a halfway lift. As you exhale, forward fold. Fingertips to the mat. Let's step the right foot back to the back of the mat, dropping the right knee down onto the mat. Sinking the hips forward and down. Inhale, the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale to sink. Turn the tailbone down, find length in the low back. You can bring your hands to your hips here. Turn the tailbone, really you manually almost turn the length of the low back. And then sink the hips forward and down. Lift up through the sides of the body. And I want to take the arms behind your back. You can hold opposite elbows, or you can bring your hands to prayer with the fingertips pointing down, or you can bring your hands to prayer with the fingertips pointing up. Whatever you've chosen, roll the elbows back, roll the shoulders back, and then lift up from the rib cage. So lift the rib cage, bringing the heart up towards the ceiling. Big inhale here. Exhale, sink the hips a little more, lift the heart a little more. Inhale to bring the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your hands down to frame the front foot, come up on the toes of the right foot, and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to your high plank pose. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's lift the left heel. And exhale to bring that left foot forward between your hands, dropping the right knee down onto the mat. Right hand plants, and we're going to take an easy twist. Inhaling to bring the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, sink. Stay here for a breath. Let your back of your hand drop back behind you. Open the heart. Maybe give your head a little, your neck a little turn, whatever way feels good. Then bring that left hand back down to the front of the mat and step your right foot forward to meet your left. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips come to the mat here, and let's step the left foot back to the back of the mat, dropping the left knee down onto the mat. Inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the hips and sink the hips forward and down. Relax the shoulders down the back. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, find the place where you want your arms to be. You can hold opposite elbows, or namaste, reverse namaste, or up towards your shoulder blades. As you inhale, roll the shoulders back and lift the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back, lift the rib cage, tip the tailbone down. Keep moving in this way. Making sure we're keeping the chin tucked into the throat, the low back long. So these are the areas that we have the most flexibility in. We're forcing the bend right in the mid region of the spine. Inhale, crown of head is up, fingertips up. As you exhale, make your way to plank pose. Inhale, shoulders forward. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open your heart. And exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, the right heel floats. As you exhale, the right foot comes forward between the hands. Drop the left knee. Plant the left hand and let the right hand float towards the ceiling. Nice easy twist here, opening the heart. Sort of moving at the spine every which way this morning. Bringing the right hand down to meet the mat. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften your knees. Let's rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Exhale, hands heart center forward all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step back to downward dog or to plank. If you're in downward dog, you can just hold it. If you're in plank, inhale, forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower, halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet here, coming into a forward fold. We can have a standing dangle here. Hold opposite elbows. Just dangle your feet a little bit. Bring the feet to the width of the mat now. Toes off the mat, heels on the mat. And sink your hips down into a nice easy squat. I know you guys probably figured by now this is a favorite frame of mine. I feel like it's a really good thing to do on a daily basis. I'm going to bring your hands to your hips. And as we're going to come up to stand, launching our weight into the left foot and bringing the right knee high. And then exhale back down to your squat. Launch into the right foot, left knee high. So we're sort of bringing the balancing and the strength together here. Exhale to sink. We'll do one more each side. Launching into the left foot, right knee high. Exhale to come down. Try and be in control. Inhale to come up. Exhale to sink. Hands can come to the heart center here. Lengthen the spine, or maybe you want to bring your fingertips to the mat. Tuck the chin around the spine. Or if it's in your practice, we can try a crow pose. Bringing your hands to the mat, shoulder width apart, spread the fingers wide so you have a nice wide base. Come up on your toes, lift the hips. So maybe this might be where you come to today. Or you can begin to rock back and forth. Bring your weight from your toes to your hands. From your toes to your hands. Maybe you're going to start a little hop, or maybe one foot's going to come up as you lean forward, and then the other. Maybe both feet will come up. Whatever feels good for you today. Kind of a fun thing to try. Let's move back to everybody. Once you're done with that, make your way back to a child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, hands forward. This time you can be a little more relaxed in your child's pose. You can let your forearms be down on the mat. Rest your hands. Breathe easy. And from here, let's make our way to tabletop. Cross at the ankles, roll over your feet. Bring your hips to the center of the mat. Put your soles of your feet on the mat and press into the big toes. Lengthen up through the spine. Tuck the chin and hands are on the mat or facing forward as you lower all the way down onto the mat. Just as you come down though, keep pressing that big toe mound deeply into the mat. I know your big toes want to lift up off the mat. Keep pressing them down as hard as you can as you lower all the way down. You can bring your knees into your chest here. Pop your hips over to the left a little bit and let the knees drop to the right. Let your hands extend out in the T position. Extend right out through the fingertips. Keep the left shoulder on the mat. Big breath in here. As you exhale, draw your knees up to center. Maybe bring your hips back to center and then hop them over to the right a little bit. Let your knees drop to the left. Nice, easy twist here. Inhaling, come back up to center. As you exhale, draw your nose into your knees. Give yourself a little hug. And then release out into Savasana. And we'll take a few moments here in Savasana. It's so hard at this time, I find, through this period of everybody working at home and being at home together, to make the definition between personal time and work time. And I find my time on the mat can help me. These morning practices help me to make that definition. So take this last few moments of practice as your time for yourself. Feel the breath moving. When you're ready to begin moving again, begin by wiggling your fingers and toes. Turn your wrists and your ankles. Turn your heads from side to side and just reach out. Let full body stretch. And draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. When you're ready, roll to the fetal position. Take a couple of breaths here. Then taking your time, make your way back up to the seat, to a comfortable seat. Roll the vertebrae up to a nice long spine. Relax your shoulders down your back. The crown of the head comes up last. Inhale the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, thumbs to the third eye, and let's hinge forward for our final pose. Namaste. Thanks for coming out to join me today.